India's historic Mars mission Mangalyaan launched successfully. ISRO's workhorse launch vehicle PSLV C-25 precisely places Mars orbiter on Earth's orbit. Markets snap. A 5-day rally. Sensex falls below 21,000 to close at 20,975 levels, loses 244 points. Nifty also loses 64 points to close at 64,253 levels. And news from the tech industry, BlackBerry calls off its sale just hours before the bidding deadline. Microblogging company Twitter increases its estimate of share value by 25%. Hello and welcome to Business Wrap. I'm Sidhant Sibal. India's mission Mars has finally taken off. Satellite is now expected to go around Earth for 20 to 25 days before embarking on a 9-month voyage to the Red Planet on December 1st and reach the orbit of Mars on September 24th, 2014. Here's a special program on Mangal mission. In a major boost to India's space program, India's Mars orbiter spacecraft was successfully put into Earth's orbit. In its Silver Jubilee flight, PSLV SC-25 placed Mars orbiter mission precisely in elliptical orbit about 44 minutes after liftoff at 2:38 p.m. this afternoon. India embarked on its maiden Mars Odyssey with its polar rocket carrying Mars orbiter mission MOM successfully lifting off from Satish Dhawan Space Center in its first ever interplanetary expedition in a bid to join a select band of nations. Chairman of ISRO, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, said he was extremely happy at the successful launch of the PSLV satellite and lauded the efforts of the ISRO team for their efforts.
We can see steadily the launch vehicle proceeding.
गड़गड़ाता हुआ PSLV C-25 अपनी यात्रा पर निकल गया है.
Very great. Historic moment. Cherish it.
अपनी विभिन्न अंतर्ग्रही तकनीकियों और प्रणालियों के विकास व तैयारियों को अगले अवसर 2016 तक के लिए टाल देते और उसे PSLV से शायद प्रक्षेपित करना भी मुश्किल होता है. ये घड़ी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण. हम आप सभी दर्शकों को बहुत बहुत बधाई देते हुए बहुत आइए हम MCC के उसके
हेलो very historic.
Hello. To announce that the PSLV C-25 vehicle has placed the Mars orbiter spacecraft very precisely into an elliptical orbit around Earth. This is the 25th flight of our PSLV. And it has been
primary deployment over.
It has been a new and complex mission design to ensure that we would be able to move the Mars orbiter spacecraft from the orbit of Earth to the orbit of Mars with minimum energy.
The liftoff was witnessed, among others, by the Minister of State in PMO V. Narayanaswamy, US Ambassador to India Nancy Powell, Indian Space Research Organization Chairman K. Radhakrishnan, and a host of other officials. After going around Earth for 20 to 25 days in elliptical orbit, the 450 crore rupees orbiter would begin a 9-month-long voyage to Mars around 12:42 a.m. on December the 1st.
Hello.
Clearly a proud moment for India. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh was quick to congratulate the entire team of ISRO on the landmark achievement in the Mars mission. The Prime Minister's official Twitter page tweeted, The President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, has also congratulated the Indian Space Research Organisation for successful launch of the Mars Orbiter spacecraft on PSLV C-25. He said the launch is a significant milestone in the progress of our space program and space applications, and that the day shall go down as a landmark in our space program, inspiring our scientists to make even greater strides in achieving our national goals in the field of space. Congress President Sonia Gandhi also lauded the Indian space scientists for their successful launch of the historic Mangalyaan mission. In a congratulatory message to the scientists, Mrs. Gandhi said every Indian is proud of this outstanding scientific feat by our great scientists. Meanwhile, congratulations poured in from different experts and dignitaries on the successful launch of the Mars craft.
What you guys have done so far in regard to this mission, it's so fantastic. I don't know anything like this which has been done earlier, here or anywhere else in the world. I think there's a whole lot which is going here. Thrift, taking your own path, not following anybody, not trying to get into a silly competition mode, but trying to do something very special.
A comment from some friends of mine saying that I don't understand why Indians are shouting about the 500 crores or 450 crores spent on this. It's certainly the biggest day for the whole of India, which India can be proud of. And these Indians have no difficulty in spending 10 times that, 5,000 crores in Diwali crackers in one day, which don't get up more than 10 feet. But for going all the way to Mars, at 1/10 the cost, why are they shouting? I thought it was a very nice statement to make.
So big day for whole of Indians. Overall, 58 space missions are planned during 12th planned period, which includes 33 satellite missions and 25 launch vehicles missions. The plan outlay for this mission is planned at 39,750 crore rupees and non-plan outlay is 7,500 crore rupees. Apart from these projects, ISRO is also tapping foreign markets for developing satellites, and this could add to a project portfolio of Indian corporates. So how is India's space industry growing? Here's a special report.
India has successfully launched a spacecraft to the Red Planet with the aim of becoming the fourth space agency to reach Mars. The Mars Orbiter mission took off at 2:38 p.m. from the Satish Dhawan Space Center on the country's east coast. But there is another revolution happening in India's space industry. India today is a leading country which provides space launch vehicles to other countries. India is a leader in launch services today. ISRO's commercial and marketing arm Antrix is providing space products and services to international customers worldwide. Antrix is a 950 crore rupee company which got the Mini Ratna status by the Government of India in 2008. With fully equipped state-of-the-art facilities, Antrix is one-stop shop for any of the space products, be it simple subsystem to a complex spacecraft for varied applications covering communications, Earth observation, scientific missions, space-related service including remote sensing data series, transponders lease service, launch services through the operational launch vehicles, mission support services, and a host of consultancy and training services are also offered by Antrix. Antrix caters to a prestigious clientele including some of the leading space companies across the globe, which includes EADS Astrium, Intelsat, Avanti Group, World Space, WorldSat and several other space institutions in Europe, Middle East and Southeast Asian countries. Launch vehicles are used to transport and put satellites or spacecrafts into space. By far, PSLV is the most famous one. The PSLV has launched 63 satellites or spacecrafts, 28 Indian and 35 foreign satellites into a variety of orbits so far. For the past 4 decades, ISRO has launched more than 50 satellites for various scientific and technological applications like mobile application, direct-to-home services, meteorological observations and telemedicine. Business Desk, DT News.
We are joined by Professor Patrick Das Gupta, Department of Astrophysics at Delhi University, and we'll also be joined by Professor Y.S. Rajan, Scientific Advisor to CII, to discuss on India's space industry and its future. Sir, welcome to you first, sir. Professor Patrick, it's a proud day for Indians?
Yes, of course. After the Chandrayaan success, where 5 years back Indian Chandrayaan showed the first conclusive evidence for water on moon, now we can essentially display the technological prowess in Indian space research.
So how will it help the Indian space program overall?
Certainly, the confidence that gives Indians that if this mission is successful on our first attempt, which no other country has achieved in the past, then that will be a tremendous moral booster for the Indian space scientists and engineers. And moreover, the spin-off that comes in the way of various possible discovery, whether methane is present in the Martian atmosphere, and why is it that once upon a time Mars, being a wet planet, now has suddenly gone dry. So these are the questions which are burning, and Mars mission of India are possibly going to provide the solutions and answers.
Now on to Professor Y.S. Rajan, he's a scientific advisor to the CII. Sir, my question is, it's a great day for India's frugal technology also when it comes to space technology.
Yes, Indian engineering aspect for the space has always used multiple modular mode, from launch vehicle to satellite, satellites to another satellite, etc., thus cutting down quite a bit of cost. We also learn from outside world whatever experiences.
I like to give a small stat to both our guests that the Sunrise Hyderabad IPL franchise costed around 425 crore rupees in 2012. The Mars mission is around 450 crore rupees. So that's a great victory in a sense.
I would not like to compare numbers like that, but I know that it is something which has been done very well. In addition, a lot of new technological strength or engineering strengths have come. Long duration flights, high radiation, and then a high degree of autonomy there, because you can't give a real-time command, so you have 6 minutes to 48 minutes. So like this, many which are there, which really upgrades.
So
even PSLV itself, a certain marginal additions which have been done, which has done one more mission which was not envisaged before.
So Professor Rajan, is like a benchmark for ISRO now? When it comes to
in a way we can say, after doing lot of remote sensing, communications and meteorology, then recently in navigation, this is the 5th major step into interplanetary.
Right now there is a time for a small break. After the break, we'll continue with the discussion and discuss how India's space industry is growing and how it will help the entire world.
बांगर सीमेंट, सस्ता नहीं, सबसे अच्छा।
वो अभी भी ट्रैफिक में फंसी हुई है।
अंदाज से सब कुछ कहे, क्या बात है जिंदगी, आसमां से भी आगे बढ़े, अंदाज है जिंदगी।
शादी करोगे मुझसे?
Presenting the all-new passion from Hero, style का cool अंदाज।
अतिथि देवो भव। जापान की मियोको लिखती हैं कि उन्होंने कैसे समझा इसका मतलब। हिमालय में घूमते घूमते उनकी आखिरी बस छूट गई। मियोको कहती है कि वो भारत बार बार आएंगी और जब भी आएंगी कुंजुक आंटी से जरूर मिलेंगी। ऐसे ही लोग अतिथि देवो भव का मतलब साकार करते हैं और कुंजुक आंटी भारत आपको सलाम करता है।
Welcome back. We were talking about India's space industry. Professor Rajan, tell me, Antariksh is the marketing arm of ISRO. How is it helping ISRO to become financially self-sufficient? More or less, ISRO is financially self-sufficient, but how is Antariksh helped?
See, the idea is not to make it self-sufficient. Everywhere in the world, space programs are strongly supported by government. It is a technological strength, public good, so many things. See, for example, when the storm was detected, it is through the ISRO satellites. So like this there are many. So one should not see that what money directly comes. However, using some of these capabilities, you have to earn some money too. That makes you strong in the commercial world. Okay, commercial competitive. That is what has given special strength to PSLV and some other satellite making.
So how has Antariksh helped its commercial ventures?
It goes and negotiates, it gets many, it becomes a one-stop case for somebody who wants to launch a satellite. Say for example 35 satellites which have been done, they negotiate, they talk. Of course they closely work with ISRO. The BSSC and the SHAR team gets all the PSLV. Satellite ISAC and then the SAC and the NRSA, they work with others. So it draws from the whole strength of ISRO and gives a one-stop service for the other agencies.
Professor Patrick,
that is the role of Antariksh.
Professor Patrick,
that is why it is called a commercial arm.
Okay, nice, sir. So, coming back to you, the global space in economy was, the global space industry was $305 million in 2012. Where do you think that ISRO stands in this whole global space economy?
No, I am afraid I can't answer that because I am not part of the commercial aspect. I can only answer science related programs.
So Mr. Rajan, tell me, how do you think that ISRO can be part of this global space economy? It's around $305 million.
It is a part of the global space economy. Even within India, if you look at, many of the products are done by Indian industry. I don't want to list all of them. There are about 500 small and medium industries and about 10 to 12.
Sir, can you give me some percentage where the ISRO stands when it comes to the global space economy?
See here, maybe you may put it around 5 to 10, but here you have to caution. We can't compare dollar to a rupee when it comes to what it does. Sometimes they call as purchasing power parity, you know, economics, no? So it is like this, but still ISRO is not a very major player in a sense that you have got an equal number of launches and satellites, but of late the number of launches and satellites have gone up. So you may put it around 5-10% if you put
and so you expect it to grow by like how much percentage every year?
It will be difficult to say, but it is showing an accelerated trend. In the past 4-5 years, it has grown up quite a number. So probably there will be more launches. Some of it will be joined with others. Some others may use. India itself, the demand is very high. So all these should be seen together, and not only directly satellites and others. There is a downstream services. Even the TV which you are showing is actually a downstream service now.
So, and where do you see the future? And where do you see the future of the Indian space program commercially?
Commercially, it will be a very strong, important one. Not only contributing to India directly, but also in a downstream industries in India, and also many countries which do not have launch and satellite making capability, they may also utilize ISRO services, and those who are equal or better developed, they will also work jointly with ISRO. So it is going to be an important major player in the global space industry and the related applications.
So coming back to you,
and of course some science in between, some very good interesting science also will be done.
So, where do you see, my last question to you, so where do you see the whole Mars mission going next? What's the next? This is the first step, we know that.
Yes. So, if the Mars orbiter is going to conclusively show either way whether methane is there in the atmosphere, that will be a remarkable achievement. It will once for all settle the issue whether microbial life was or is there on Mars. But after that, we know that these are all unmanned missions. So far, no country has sent human beings to Mars. So the next logical question would be that when are the Indian Space Organization going to send a man to Moon? It cannot directly send a man to Mars because this itself is a 300 days mission. So first one has to experiment that what are the technological and psychological barriers one encounters when one sends a human being to Moon. So probably one of the later Chandrayaan phase would be a manned mission, and with the knowledge and experience gained from that, one possibly in future would think about sending human beings to Mars.
Can you give me some expectation by what time we can send a man to?
No. These are probably Professor Rajan would be able to answer this question.
But hopefully soon, given the fact that we have already achieved a remarkable feat today. Thank you, Professor Rajan. Thank you, Professor Patrick. So that was a special on the Mars mission. Now on to the next stories. But before that, we'll go for a small break.
सुनो, गाड़ी की चाबी तो ले लो।
आज नो चाबी। आज से मेरा कारपूल स्टार्ट हो रहा है। सॉरी यार, लेट हो गया।
सुनो।
हाँ।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू क्यों?
मेरी डायमंड रिंग के लिए।
डायमंड रिंग?
अब तुम कारपूल कर रहे हो, इसका मतलब हर साल हम फ्यूल बिल पे 50,000 तक तो बचा ही लेंगे। अब इतने में तो डायमंड रिंग आ ही जाएगी। आखिर बात तो एक ही है ना?
कारपूल करें और सालाना 50,000 रुपए तक बचाएं। Brought to you by PCRA in public interest.
कहाँ चली?
ट्यूशन। माँ मैं ट्यूशन चली। आज ट्यूशन जल्दी जल्दी खत्म करेंगे। मुझे पिक्चर देखने जाना है।
अकेले अकेले जा रही है?
कौन सी पिक्चर? पहले मैथ्स वाली, फिर हिंदी वाली। ओके? ओके सोना है।
फर्क है सॉलिड दिमाग का। हर हफ्ते लो आयरन की सिर्फ एक नीली गोली। ये खून में आयरन की मात्रा बढ़ाए, दिमाग और शरीर एकदम सॉलिड बनाए। सरकारी स्कूलों और आंगनबाड़ी केंद्रों में निःशुल्क उपलब्ध। सॉलिड बनो इंडिया, भारत सरकार की पहल।
Back now onto the market action. It was a day of wares on the markets, weakness in European stocks, and a survey showing that India's service sector activity remained weak dampened the sentiments. Sensex fell below the psychological level of 21,000 level in the late trade to close at 20,975 levels, down 244 points, while Nifty closed 64 points, down at 6,253 levels. The Sensex and the Nifty had both attained record highs during the special Diwali Muda trading session held on Sunday, 3rd November 2013. Top losers on the chart were ITC, ICICI Bank, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's Lab and TCS, which were down by between 4 to 2%. Top gainers on the chart were Hindalco, Coal India, Tata Motors, Cipla and HDFC, which were up by between 2 to 1%. On to global market action. Asian stocks were mixed on Tuesday. Key benchmark indices in Hong Kong, Taiwan and South Korea shed by between 0.56% to 1.1%. Key benchmark indices in China, Singapore and Japan rose by between 0.05% to 0.35%. European stocks edged lower on Tuesday as the European Union trimmed its growth outlook. Key benchmark indices in France, Germany and UK shed by between 0.38% to 0.41%. The European Central Bank holds a monetary policy meeting on Thursday, 7th of November. The ECB is seen retaining its key policy rates at a record low of 0.5%. The smartphone maker BlackBerry has called off its sale and said it's raising about $1 billion from BlackBerry's largest shareholder, Fairfax Financial Holdings. The buy by BlackBerry sometime, but the investors headed for doors, making the stock's biggest loss for the stock. Almost 17% the stock was down. Fairfax was planning to lead a consortium of firms in the takeover of BlackBerry worth $4.7 billion.
Canadian cell phone maker BlackBerry has abandoned its sale process and announced that Chief Executive Officer Thorsten Haynes would step down. The Ontario-based company will instead raise $1 billion Canadian by issuing convertible notes. It made the announcement early Monday morning before the deadline for Fairfax Financial Holdings, who had offered $4.7 billion Canadian to acquire the company. Fairfax, which already owns 10% of BlackBerry, will buy 1/4 of the convertible debt. Former Sybase Inc. Chief Executive John Shen will replace Haynes on an interim basis. The company has also named him as the chairman of the board of directors. BlackBerry has been losing market share amid fierce competition from rivals such as Apple and Samsung, despite the release of its new smartphones in the past few months. It wrote down $1 billion Canadian in inventory and had to cut 4,500 jobs in September. Business Desk, DD News.
Time for repeat headlines. India's historic Mars mission Mangalyaan launched successfully. ISRO's workhorse launch vehicle PSLV C-25 precisely places Mars orbiter on Earth's orbit. Market snap 5-day rally. Sensex falls below 21,000 to close at 20,975 levels. Loses 244 points. Nifty also loses 64 points to close at 6,253 levels. And news from tech industry, BlackBerry calls off its sales just hours before the bidding deadline. Microblogging company Twitter increases its estimate of share value by 25%. Well, that's all in this edition of Business Wrap. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.